Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to Lisa Does. Today we're going to go through two ways of making the whirlpool block. One method, which I call the multiples method, uses 4 at a time flying geese and 8 at a time half square triangle units. The other method is what I call the Scrappy Method. Let's start with the multiples method. This method uses the 8 at a time half square triangle method and the 4 at a time flying geese method. For the 8 half square triangles, you'll need 2 squares, 5 3/4 inch each. How did we get this size? We found our finished size half square triangle unit, which in this case is 2 inches. We added 7/8 to get 2 7/8, and then multiplied by 2 to get 5 3/4. Draw from one corner to the other in each direction. We're going to sew a 1/4 inch from each of these lines in all 4 directions. Press this flat and take it to the cutting table. Cut the sewn square in half, vertically and horizontally first. And then on the diagonals. And now you have 8 half square triangles. Press them open, trim off the dog ears, and I'll meet you back at the machine. For our 4 flying geese, we'll need 1 5 1/4 inch square and 4 squares, 2 7/8 inches. We need to draw a line diagonally across each of the small squares. These are our background squares. Place the smaller squares on top of our larger square so that we have a line running from corner to corner. Then pin them in place. Sew a 1/4 inch away from each line, going in both directions. Now cut this triangle in half along the line. Press the resulting pieces open. Place a square on each of the 2 resulting pieces on the remaining corner and stitch a 1/4 inch away. Now trim your pieces in half, right along our drawn line. And you have 4 flying geese. Press open and trim. Trim the dog ears. Now that we've finished all of our half square triangles and our flying geese units, it's time to lay out our block just like this. Our next step is to make parallelograms from our half square triangle units. Just fold over one side onto the other and sew them. Press open your parallelogram. I'm pressing my seams open. And place your pieces back where they belong in the quilt block. Next, we flip over the flying geese unit and sew that to our parallelogram. And press our pieces open. And assemble our quarters like a 4-patch. And here's our finished block. The second method I'm going to show you is what I call the Scrappy Method. For this one, we'll need 8 2.5 by 4.5 inch bricks and 16 2.5 inch squares. First, we'll make 4 flying geese units. We place one of our 2.5 inch squares onto one end of our brick, and then we sew from corner to corner. You can either mark your line onto the fabric, or you can use a piece of tape to mark your seam line. That was good. When you're done sewing, fold over your corners to check to make sure that you have these covered. If they match, you're good. If they don't match, take your seam out and try again. And once you've confirmed that they're okay, trim off your corner from underneath, leaving a 1/4 inch seam. A lot of people save these little triangles to sew them into blocks. You are welcome to do so, but I do not have the patience for that. Press these open and then come back and do the other side. When these are trimmed and pressed, you lay the other square on the other end of the brick and you sew from corner to center. Once again, we fold this corner over to check and make sure that we have coverage. If you take a look at this one, you can see that we definitely do not. So this one's going to have to be ripped out and done again. Now that our flying geese units are done, we can work on our parallelogram units. We start the same way we did with the flying geese units, only we're going to make sure that we sew in the proper direction. Our parallelogram is going to go in this direction, like this, so we want to sew this way. And then we check them, trim them, and press them. Now we can do the other side. We place our square on the end of the brick, but instead of sewing from this corner to this corner, we sew a line parallel to the line we did before. And once again, we check, trim, and press. All of our units are assembled, so let's lay them out into our block. Our next step is to flip our flying goose unit over onto our parallelogram and sew them together. We can open these up to show our 4/4. We'll press them open to reduce bulk. Let's lay out our 4/4 and then we can assemble them like a 4-patch. Just place the right side on top of the left side. And now we'll just press the seams to either side. And nest them. And sew our 2 rows together. And there you have your whirlpool block. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please help my channel out by hitting the like button and subscribing to see more quilting content.